After a 4-year break, the transforming robots are finally back in the latest trailer for Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. In addition to a brand new appearance that sticks to the original, the Robot Squad is also attracted by completely new factions, promising to bring a completely different cinematic experience than before. Who are the new characters, what abilities do they have, and what will happen in the 7th installment of the Transformers movie franchise? Let's explore right here. Opening the trailer is the image of Mirage and Noah, two of the most important characters in the film. As for Mirage, he is a robot belonging to the Autobot faction and a member of the very famous first generation of Transformers in the 1980s of the last century. In the animated version, Mirage turns into a Formula 1 racing car. However, in the trailer, his car type is a silver blue Ford. This change both helps to make the film more independent and streamlines the world of the film, as it's clear that a Formula 1 car can't appear carefree in the middle of the road like this. Later in the trailer, his identity is further reinforced when we see the Autobot logo inside the car. Not stopping there, he also showed off his unique ability to create an illusion of himself to confuse the opponent. In the animated series, Mirage can also become invisible, making him a great spy for the Autobot. However, it is unclear if this ability will be used in the upcoming movie or not. It is known that Pete Davidson, the master of the Saturday Night Live show, will voice this character. A fascinating fact is that Mirage previously appeared in Michael Bay films, but with a completely different appearance and name. As for Noah, Mirage's companion, he is played by Anthony Ramos and will play the role of either Sam Witwicky or Cade Yeager from previous films. Currently, through Paramount's revelations, we only know that Noah is a former electronics specialist who once worked for the military and lives in Brooklyn. Next is the focus of the trailer. In the middle of the vast jungle, a chimpanzee appears and shows strength. This is Optimus Primal, the leader of the Maximal group. The logo of this robot group is easy to see on his chest. Maximal is an organization in the Beasts World animated series in the Transformers series. They are righteous and have the same role as the Autobots. But Maximal does not transform into a vehicle or machine but into mammalian creatures, such as leopards, chimpanzees, tigers, and lions. They can also transform into fish and birds. In the animated timeline, the Beasts World series takes place several hundred years after the events of the first Transformers series. As a result, Maximal can be considered an Autobot descendant. It is likely that the Maximals will travel in time to warn and support their predecessors in the face of impending dangers. This is evident in Primal's lines.
I'm not the one to fear, Prime.
By the way, Hellboy Ron Perlman is the main voice of Primal. Before Primal spoke, the leader of the Autobot group appeared with the legendary voice of Peter Cullen, as in many previous films.
Stand down!
Optimus is still as majestic as ever, but his appearance has changed somewhat. It seems more streamlined and brighter than Michael Bay's version. This look is inspired by the very first generation in the animated series, which is also the most popular and loved generation. At this point, many people will wonder, with the different appearances of both Mirage and Optimus, where will Rise of the Beasts be in the Transformers universe? Is the movie a prequel, a sequel, or a remake? The answer is all three. The film, according to Paramount, will be set in the mid-1990s and will be a sequel to Bumblebee 2018. Originally, Bumblebee was a soft reboot of the entire Michael Bay franchise, so Rise of the Beasts will play a similar role. If you are wondering, a soft reboot is a remake that does not completely remove the old timeline. As such, some events in the upcoming film will also affect or appear in Michael Bay's film series. Back to the trailer, there is another remarkable detail in the confrontation between the two leaders, and that is this couple. This is Noah and Elena, the film's main characters, embodied by Dominique Fishback. She appears at the end of the trailer. According to Paramount, she is a museum archaeologist. Most likely, during a mission or adventure, Elena awakened or released something that put Autobot and humanity in danger and had to ask for Maximal's help. It is also possible that Elena herself summoned the Maximal group with some ritual. We have to wait until the next trailer to conclude. After the conversation between the two leaders, we get to see Optimus in the form of a car speeding down the road, an image that will surely remind audiences of the animated version of the 1980s. But, after the 2018 film, Bumblebee transformed into a Chevrolet Camaro, just like Michael Bay's version, bringing a tougher and more combative demeanor than the Volkswagen in the original. But in a separate movie, it is likely that the Golden Bee will no longer be the central robot as before. Director Stephen Caple Jr. shared that the film will focus more on Optimus and the difficulties he must overcome on the way to becoming the leader of the Autobots, similar to how the role of the bridge with humanity will also change. It's possible that Mirage will take on that responsibility, especially since he has led Noah to escape in front of the police car and formed a fairly close relationship with this person.
Pull over! I'm not driving!
Next, let's go to the Maximal Guild to see where they come from and their abilities. Here we see Bumblebee running alongside a mechanical leopard. It was Cheetor, the key face of Maximal. As the name suggests, Cheetor can transform into a jaguar, making him the fastest runner in the guild. Cheetor is a warrior with great fighting skills. However, he was the youngest and most impulsive, and he once had to pay for his impulsiveness. On the other hand, Cheetor greatly worships Primal, considers him a true leader, and always strives to impress the cyborg monkey. It's no exaggeration to say that Cheetor is Maximal's Bumblebee. It is currently unknown who will voice this character. The trailer continues with a scene of the creature flying and shooting lasers at the pass. This is most likely Arizor, the rare female member of the Maximal group. In the original, she can transform into a falcon, one of the fastest animals in the world. Arizor also has superior combat abilities, but unlike Cheetor, she is somewhat more thorough and wise. This personality seems quite reasonable, especially when Michelle Yeoh voices this character. In the original, Arizor nearly died when landing on Earth, but she was saved by Cheetor and another person. Since then, they have become close friends. That relationship could be exploited in the upcoming film. If we look closely, we will see that this frame also has the presence of someone quite similar to Optimus. Thus, Arizor is supporting the Autobot leader, thereby strengthening the alliance between Maximals and Autobots. I just mentioned that Cheetor and another once saved Arizor's life, that is, Rhinox, and this character also appeared briefly in the trailer. Rhinox is one of Maximal's most brilliant minds. In the organization, he is the only person in power second only to the leader Primal. However, don't think that being a civil Mandarin means Rhinox doesn't have combat ability. True to his name, he can transform into a giant rhinoceros, ready to blow away all enemies. Rhinox will be voiced by David Sobolov, who has appeared in many Transformers movies before. The Maximals Guild is very diverse, both strong and intelligent, but the Autobot predecessors are also not to be underestimated. The first is RC, the female character who appears in a fight scene in the trailer. She is one of the most prominent female warriors in the Autobot squad. RC is a master of close combat and an accomplished shooter. Like Arizor, RC is devoted to those close to him, but especially ruthless toward his enemies. In a personal Instagram post, director Stephen Caple Jr. implicitly admitted that RC's car identity is a large displacement Ducati. It seems that she will also have a similar appearance to the cartoon version with the main pink and white tone. RC once appeared in Michael Bay's series with a completely different look, but she did not gain much ground before being defeated. Looking at how RC appears, it looks like this will change in the upcoming movie. This character will be played by YouTuber Liza Koshy. In the scene where RC shows off her skills, she is clinging to a Volkswagen minivan. In fact, this is also an Autobot named Wheeljack. Like Rhinox, this is also the largest brain member of Autobot. He often makes weapons and items for the Autobots in their fight against the Decepticons. However, unlike his partner, Wheeljack is not good at fighting and often stays in the rear. Judging from what happened in the trailer, this doesn't seem to be the case anymore. Another adaptation is Wheeljack's vehicle form. In the animated version, he is a racing car. In the Michael Bay series, he is a security car. But in the upcoming movie, Wheeljack is dressed in a much more friendly look. When the trailer stretched too close to half, the Autobot team gathered almost fully, including Mirage, RC, Wheeljack, and Optimus, but no one saw Bumblebee anywhere. I will hypothesize about his absence later. So what caused both Autobot and Maximal to step in? How bad was it that Primal had to issue a serious warning? Unlike many previous films, the Decepticon may not be evil in the upcoming story, nor will it be the Predacons, the counterweight of the Maximals. There isn't any indication that Predacons will appear in the trailer. Furthermore, according to director Caple and Primal himself, this is the Battle of Optimus. To put it bluntly, Maximals are just supportive allies, so it's understandable that his archenemy hasn't shown up yet. In short, to know who the villain is, we need to look at the headline at the end of the trailer. There are 3 icons that appear in turn. The first one represents the Autobot, the second one represents Maximal, and the last one represents the villain Terrorcon. In fact, Terrorcon has many different origins. In the timeline of the first generation of Terrorcon, there is a group of villains made up of 6 different robots. These guys are very crazy and only know how to kill and destroy, but are not strong. Terrorcon will lose if he has to fight the Autobots alone. But in the Transformers Prime series, Terrorcon has a much scarier origin. They are Megatron's legion and are filled with a dark substance called dark energon. With dark energy in their hands, they can drain the lives of other robots and turn them into their own kind. It is known that a dead robot can also be resurrected by dark energy. I will hypothesize about Terrorcon's origin in the last part of the video. Before that, let's take a look at the trailer to see what evil enemies appear. The first is Scourge, who is the main villain of the movie, according to Paramount. Through director Caple's Instagram post, he will be the perfect counterpart to Optimus in terms of appearance. Both are container trucks, but Scourge has a dark black color and is in stark contrast to the leader of the Autobots. It is easy to see that this guy is an extremely dangerous monster because he can give Bumblebee a fatal blow right in front of Optimus. That's how powerful it is, but in fact, Scourge is not a true tycoon. In the animated series, he is just a subordinate of Megatron. Scourge will be voiced by the dwarf Peter Dinklage. Next are Battletrap and Nightbird, characters that promise to be Scourge's effective assistants. As for Battletrap, he was the yellow trailer that fired missiles at RC and Wheeljack. As for Nightbird, although it only appeared for a moment through the revelation of director Caple, we know that she can transform into a Nissan sports car. These are all adaptations of the animated version, where the Battletrap is a blue truck and the Nightbird is an artificial electric vehicle created by the US government. The trailer ends with a landslide battle between Autobots, Maximals, and Terrorcons. Here we see the robot forms of almost all of the robots I mentioned above, which are Battletrap, Cheetor, Optimus, Primal, and RC, but still without Bumblebee. Then what will happen to him? To know the answer, we need to guess Terrorcon's movements and motives based on the Primal's warnings.
You've never faced anything like this.
And the filmmaker's assertion that Scourge will be a horror twist. I think Terrorcon will be a zombie Transformers army like the 2010 animated version. Besides, Scourge is just a puppet of a larger force, namely Unicron. Unicron is the entity representing the chaos of the Transformers universe. His goal is to digest planets across the galaxy like Marvel's Galactus. In the original, he is also the one who created Scourge from a dead Decepticon, so it's not hard to see why Scourge would work for him. Thus, it is possible that Scourge will master an army of zombies thanks to the abundant dark energon energy that Unicron provides, not accept the possibility that Bumblebee will be switched sides and turned into a temporary Terrorcon after the villain's fatal stab. It is both a dark prospect with a group of transforming robots and the opening of a new cinematic universe, with an extremely dangerous boss like the MCU's Thanos. And that's all the details and theories that ILoveFilm makes for Rise of the Beasts. In fact, there are still many characters and details that have been confirmed but have not appeared in this trailer. We have to wait for the next promotional products to get a more general view of the film. Until then, please wait and feel free to discuss. Anyway, this is a fascinating exploit in the world of morphing robots. Thank you for taking the time to watch the full trailer analysis video of ILoveFilm today. If you have any theories for the trailer, please leave a comment below. Goodbye, and have a good time watching the movie.